They treated my 3 daughters like we were nothing and threw us away with nothing, but now I live in a luxury mansion, and the same man who abandoned us is outside my gate on his knees, begging for mercy while his mother cries beside him. Suddenly the front door burst open with a violent bang. My heart nearly stopped. I dropped the kitchen knife and rushed into the hallway. My mother-in-law, Martha, stormed inside without greeting me. Her face was cold and filled with anger. Behind her stood a young woman, about 22, holding a worn suitcase and avoiding eye contact. Martha walked straight into my living room like she owned the place. Trying to stay calm, I followed her. My hands trembled as I spoke. "Mama, what is going on? Why did you bring this girl here without calling me?" Martha slowly turned to me, eyes filled with hatred. "Your house?" she laughed. "This is not your home. You've been married to my son for years and you've only given him 3 girls. No male child. And you still call this your house?" Her words hit me like a slap. She stepped closer and pointed at me. "Who will carry my son's name when he is gone? Girls leave their family after marriage. They cannot continue our bloodline." Then she pulled the young woman forward. "Her name is Macy," she said proudly. "I brought her here to live with my son and give him a male child, since you clearly cannot." The room began to spin. My daughters were upstairs, innocent and happy, while their own grandmother called them worthless just because they were girls. I couldn't stay in that room any longer. Tears burned my eyes as I ran into the kitchen and grabbed the sink to steady myself. My hands shook as I called David. "Please pick up," I whispered. After 4 rings he answered. "Hey honey, what's wrong?" he asked, distracted from work. "David, come home now," I cried. "Your mother is here. She brought a woman and says she's moving in to give you a son. Please come home." David sounded shocked. "What? Just calm down. I'm leaving the office now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Then she delivered her final decision. "Macy is staying in this house. If Sarah wants, she can stay quietly and raise her daughters. If she does not like it, she can leave." She looked directly at me with cold eyes. "Nobody is forcing her to stay." I turned toward David, waiting for him to defend me, our marriage, and our daughters. But he stayed silent. He did not tell his mother to leave. He did not ask Macy to take her bags and go. He simply stood there staring at the floor while his mother insulted our family. That silence shattered my heart completely. At that moment, I realized the man I fell in love with no longer existed. The man who once promised to protect me was now too weak to defend his own wife and children. I also realized something else. If I stayed in that house, my daughters would grow up believing they were less valuable simply because they were girls. I refused to let that happen. The next morning, after David left for work and Martha took Macy shopping, I made my decision. I went upstairs and packed everything. My clothes. The girls' clothes. Their toys, books, and blankets. I loaded the suitcases into my car. We were leaving that toxic house forever. Thankfully, David and I had a joint savings account, and I also had money from my online writing projects. I refused to let my daughters suffer because of their father's choices. After searching all afternoon, I found a beautiful rental house in a quiet neighborhood across the city. It had a small garden and large windows filled with sunlight. But moving alone was exhausting. I carried boxes, moved furniture, and cared for baby Chloe at the same time. My body ached every night. The hardest part was watching my daughters suffer emotionally. Every night, Lily and Maya asked the same painful questions. "Mommy, why don't we live with Daddy anymore? When is Daddy coming home?" Those questions shattered my heart. David occasionally stopped by once a week to drop money for school fees, but he never looked me in the eyes. He handed the envelope through the car window and drove away immediately. Meanwhile, things were changing at the old house. At first, David hated the situation his mother created. He felt guilty for losing his wife and daughters. Sometimes he sat alone at work staring at family photos and crying. But Martha never stopped manipulating him. She cooked his favorite meals, washed his clothes, and constantly filled his head with toxic ideas. "Forget Sarah," she told him. "If she truly loved you, she would have stayed and supported your family traditions. Macy is the woman who cares about your future and your bloodline." Macy obeyed everything Martha told her to do. She woke up early to make David coffee, cleaned the house perfectly, and greeted him warmly every evening. She never complained or argued. Slowly David changed. He stopped feeling guilty. He stopped thinking about his daughters. Eventually he began falling for Macy and convinced himself his mother was right. Before our second month apart ended, David married Macy. Martha organized a lavish traditional wedding in the backyard where my daughters once played. Relatives celebrated late into the night while my marriage was completely erased. After the wedding, David became a different person. He stopped sending school fees regularly. He stopped calling the girls. Sometimes an entire month passed without a single message. Meanwhile, Lily and Maya sat by the window every weekend hoping to see their father's car. I had to pull them away and distract them with games and snacks while hiding my own tears. Whenever the girls got sick or bills increased, I called David repeatedly. But he ignored every call. Eventually, he started rejecting my calls instantly whenever my name appeared on his screen. He deleted every photo of me and the girls from his social media pages and replaced them with pictures of himself and Macy at expensive restaurants. It felt like he was trying to erase us from his life completely. I felt abandoned, forgotten, and completely alone in that quiet rental house. One rainy Friday night, after getting the girls fed, bathed, and asleep, I finally sat down with a cup of tea. The house was quiet except for heavy rain against the windows. At 11 p.m., a loud knock hit the door. I froze. No one came here at this hour. I looked through the peephole. It was David, standing in the rain, soaked, shaking, and without a coat. At first, anger stopped me from opening the door. I reminded myself how he abandoned us. But the knocking continued, weaker now, followed by his broken voice. "Sarah, please, just 5 minutes." I opened the door. He collapsed inside, crying and kneeling at my feet. "I'm sorry," he said. "I lost everything. My mother controlled everything. I didn't know what I was doing." He begged for forgiveness, shaking and exhausted. That night, I let him stay in my room. He held me tightly, whispering that he missed our old life. I said nothing. By morning, before the girls woke up, he was already dressed and leaving. "I can't stay," he said. "My mother will find out." And then he left again. I watched him disappear, knowing nothing had truly changed. A month later, I started feeling unwell, constant nausea, fatigue, and dizziness. I already knew what it meant. I bought a pregnancy test. At home, I took it and waited, sitting on the bathroom floor. 2 pink lines appeared. I was pregnant. My hands shook as I called David. He was shocked, then suddenly excited. "I'll tell my mother," he said. "This changes everything." That evening, David told his mother. Martha didn't celebrate. She laughed. "She only gives birth to girls," she said. "Her body is a curse. This will be no different." She told David he was wasting his time and should focus on Macy instead. When he repeated her words to me, it broke me. I cried that night. But the next morning, something changed inside me. I looked at my daughters and made a decision. I would protect this baby no matter what. From that moment, I focused fully on faith and prayer. I ignored negativity and stayed committed to hope. Every Sunday, I took my daughters to church and sat in the front row. During prayers, I knelt at the altar, placed my hands on my stomach, and prayed intensely for my unborn child. I fasted, gave offerings, and prayed every night in tears. "God, please give me a miracle," I cried. "Let this child be a boy, not for me, but to silence those who look down on my daughters." I held on to that faith without doubt. Back at David's house, Macy also became pregnant. Martha was overjoyed. She treated Macy like royalty and celebrated constantly. She spent large amounts of money on baby items, luxury clothes, and a fully decorated nursery. She proudly told everyone that Macy was carrying a true heir, because she came from a strong family. She called me a curse and praised Macy as the future of the family. David followed his mother's lead and gave Macy everything she wanted. As the months passed, both pregnancies grew. Martha became more confident that Macy was carrying a boy. She organized a lavish baby shower in a luxury hotel, complete with expensive decorations, catering, and a welcome baby boy cake. She invited everyone to witness what she believed would be her victory. When Macy went into labor early, Martha rushed her to the hospital with bags full of blue baby items, convinced she was about to get a grandson. After hours in labor, the nurse finally came out. "Congratulations," she said. "It's a healthy baby girl." Martha froze. Her expression changed instantly to rage. She stormed into the delivery room and saw Macy holding the newborn wrapped in a pink blanket. Without a word of comfort, Martha walked out, furious. She left the hospital, abandoning them, and threw away all the baby boy items she had brought. That night, David brought Macy and the baby home. Martha sat in the dark living room waiting. "Mercy, what is wrong with you? Why are you only giving birth to girl? Your own mother gave birth to 7 strong boys and you are the only daughter. In this family line we are supposed to have male children, so explain to me, why are you failing now? This is your fault," she shouted at David. "You brought a curse into this family. I told you to cut off Sarah, but you didn't listen." David finally saw the truth, His mother was destroying everything with her obsession. He stood there silently, realizing how toxic she had become. Weeks later, my time came. My labor started at night and my water broke. I called David and he rushed to the hospital, leaving Macy and Martha behind. He held my hand through the pain while Martha showed no concern at all. After hours of labor, the doctor told me to push one more time. Moments later, I gave birth to twin baby boys. David broke down in tears, overwhelmed with joy. He knelt beside me, thanking God for finally blessing us with sons. News of the twin boys spread quickly through the community. Martha's pride collapsed when she heard. She rushed to the hospital and broke down at my feet, begging for forgiveness and asking to see her grandsons. The battle was over. I felt relief and peace as everything settled. David later arranged our discharge in a luxury limousine and surprised me with a new 6-bedroom mansion far away from his mother. He promised me peace, protection, and a fresh start. Macy quietly left with her daughter and returned to her family home. I ensured she still received financial support for the child, because the baby was innocent. Today we live in peace in our new home. My daughters are happy, my twin boys are thriving, and our family is finally whole again. Thank you so much for journeying through this tale with me. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this wisdom, and subscribe to join our growing family of storytellers. Your support truly means everything. I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the story resonated with you most? And let me know which part of the world you're watching from. I read every comment and they truly keep me going. See you in the next story. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.